All right, we are live, and I'm just going to take a little pause to give everyone an opportunity to get on in here. Get on in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this Sunday evening. If you are in the part of these United States that is experiencing extreme cold weathers or expected to experience extreme cold weathers, I pray that you stay warm and stay safe, stay off the roads and all that good stuff, because it looked like it is going to be brutal out there. So I'm just gonna wait for you guys to come on in, taking a moment of pause right now. And as you do so, I just want to make well, before I get into that, before I make my announcement, like I always do, like the plug. I try to remember to plug my book. It's important. You put your sweat and tears and your craft and creating. You got to remember to let the people know that it's out there, that is available. So I'm going to do that for you just now. All right, give me just a minute. I'm talking about the book. Talking about the book. Why does God uh, answers a sinner's prayer? And I'm going to bring it up. And as I do, you may have your own, opinions or whatever you may have experienced in your religious or spiritual journey. You may have your own answer to this question: why God answers a sinner's prayer. Based on my own experience, I kind of, share a little bit about my journey, but also at the same time, land in answering that question: why does God answer the sinner's prayer? I was brought up very religious, very Kojic. I mean, in the Kojic back religion, where I mean, it was just about a sin to do everything, anything. And so my experience has led me to a better understanding about me, who I am as a person, as a spirit being. Um, Even though I don't have all the answers, I think I have a better understanding and awareness about creation and creativity, our creator. And so I have a different answer than what I was groomed, a program to believe about sin, which was God does not answer a sinner's prayer. Give me just a moment. Give me just a moment. Hold on. All right, we're going to make a little shuffle here, but there's the book. If you don't mind supporting it, please, it's on Amazon. Why God Answers Sinner's Prayer. Doesn't cost that much. And we would love your support. So there's that. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go ahead and talk about the title for tonight. And Renee Stanso. I apologize for that. Phone is ringing. But I do have an announcement. If you are a regular or come to the ladies podcast show on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, just conversations with Debra. There's a little bit of change as I, transition. I'm going to use the word transition. I think transition is more befitting. As I transition to a different platform, as I transition more so into the different topics and areas that I want to hit, on Sundays, and who knows what the future may bring. It may go beyond Sundays where I may come on every day. Who knows? But the beginnings of that transition is one, I have changed the title. I'm settling, guys. I know, change is good. When you evolve, change usually comes with it. So it's no longer just conversations with Debra. It is straight up with Debra Walter. And so you may see my little symbol there is stirred up D, which stands for straight up with Debra Walter. Also with that, my journey started out under the ladies podcast show. And so I am transitioning off of that platform. I have my own platform now. It's on YouTube. It is straight up with Debra Walter, but I'm still here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just briefly, I just want to show you the channel itself, and I'm going to drop the link to the channel in the chat. So that's what I'm going to do very briefly. Bear with me. Because I just want to show you, I'm proud of it. I just want to show you guys what it looks like. And there you go. Straight up with Debra Walter. There's content. I am slowly putting content out there, transitioning some of the podcast shows that I've done under Ladies Podcast Show, Just Conversations with Debra. And so I am making that migration or that transition, very surely, but surely. You can just go to videos, just like you did with the Ladies Podcast Show. Like I said, it's just only thing that's different is just I have a different platform. I'm on YouTube, of course, but it's my own platform. Where I'm able to just really branch out and do a little bit more with it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share the link with you guys in the chat. And if you don't mind, like, share, and subscribe. Now, I will say this. I do understand transitioning to my own platform. Straight up with Debra Walter. I do have a lot of subscribers. However, I do know it may cause a rift or a delay with some of you guys who may have subscribed on the Ladies Podcast Show. My apologies for that. And so I felt the need to come here and at least start my show tonight, letting you guys know, different name, Straight Up with Debra Walter, on a different YouTube channel, Straight Up with Debra Walter. And so just to give you guys an opportunity, if you still want to roll with me, if you still want to listen to what this old country gal has to say, give you guys an opportunity to click on the link that I've shared in the comment section and subscribe and hit that notification button. Would love for you to hit that notification button so you will be here, be alerted when I come on. So like I said, who knows what the future holds. Right now it's still every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, as the scrolling mark banner shows you down below. And I may branch out and do it every day. Who knows? But I would love your continued support. I love your continued support. All right, now we done got all of that out of the way. What are we talking about tonight? All right, in light of the increasing number of, I guess you can say, cheating scams, infidelity in marriages, one begs to answer the question up here at the top, what the title says: is monogamy natural? Is monogamy natural? Now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do, and I'm coming from a place of experience. Like I said, I was brought up in Kojic, and is you supposed to be married, you just got to be married before you have sex and all that stuff. It is important. I mean, from a religious standpoint, absolutely monogamy. You're only supposed to be with one person, married to one person, dedicated to one person, committed to one person, until death do us part. But even outside of marriage, when you get into these committed relationships, is it normal? Is it natural to just have one partner? Well, I'm going here to tell you, based on my research, there's various views about that. It varies across cultures. And I'm going to say it's even, depends on the individual. So we want to dive into that conversation. We want to dive into that topic. We want to pull back the layers. And little trendy saying that they have on social media now: we listen, but we don't judge. Okay? So we're going to get into the topic tonight. We're going to go ahead and get into the topic. And before I do, I would like to say share my own standpoint, my own view on this particular topic. I believe in monogamy. I do. I believe even if you're just dating, you should be committed to just one person and one person alone. Now, does that mean your partner is going to feel the same way? Who knows? But it's definitely when it comes to marriage, I believe in monogamy. I believe in committing to one person, being dedicated to that one person. And because to me, it's from a personal viewpoint of my own personal opinion, I think it's healthier that way. When you're talking about the various, STDs that you can come into, just your mental health. I think it's better for your mental health to where you're committed to one person, your financial help, because things can get expensive when you're trying to juggle so many different people in a relationship. And Lord knows what holiday is getting ready to come up. Valentine's Day. Now, guys, they will say, well, that's really a woman's holiday. It ain't true enough. But you guys get share some love on that day too. But just saying, with holidays like Valentine's Day coming up, birthdays, Christmas, they can get very expensive, specifically for the guys when you're juggling more than one female in your life. But I think it is healthier mentally, physically, spiritually, financially when you commit yourself to one person. I do. And some people I'm sure you're going to disagree. Like I said, it's individual. It is based, it can be your position on this particular topic can have influence from your religious background, your culture. So we're going to get into it. We're going to start out with some questions and try to pull back the layers on this very topic. All right. So the first question is, how might cultural and religious beliefs influence an individual's view on monogamy? Well, I'm from the West, these United States, and I can say primarily culturally, the West believes in monogamy, even from a legal standpoint. I'm gonna go ahead and take that question down. Even from a religious standpoint, religious standpoint, legal standpoint, monogamy is something that we primarily practice here in these United States. So it's culturally accepted, even though there are some there who may believe that, hey, they'd rather practice polygamy. I mean, there are cases. There was even a famous show, reality show, where there was one guy, and I think, he may have had like four different wives, and he was financially responsible for all those wives. I don't believe they held a job. Their job, they were homemakers. So, like I said, it can get expensive. If that is your taste, polygamy, it can get expensive. And so for the sake of this conversation, I think I want to focus more so on monogamy when it comes to the marital aspect of it versus just, guys, you being out there dating. And the reason I'm going to say that is some people believe that if you're just dating, you're not cheating because you haven't committed yourself legally to this person. So you just feeling your way through until you find that one and you make a commitment to that one. That is a school of thought out there for some people. But like I said, my position on it, even when it comes to the dating world, I prefer monogamy because it's just simpler that way. It's easier that way. And I'm going to be honest. It is kind of crazy out there. People are getting to the point, male or female, look, they're not putting up with crap. You hear me? They're not putting up with being cheated on, and it can turn violent. So physically, that's what I'm saying. It's healthy for you to leave that thing alone, be committed to one person, don't complicate your life. Look, life is complicated enough when you having to deal with these different people. And so you may say, well, Debra, you may feel like, okay, you may practice monogamy and you may have, get in a relationship or whatever with a person. And you're going to ask, hey, are you dating anyone? Are you seeing anyone? Hey, this is my position. I don't like to, be juggling with a lot of different people. This is my stand on it. And that person, 9 times out of 10, and guys, y'all can chop my heads off if you want to. 9 times out of 10, it's the men or the males that are saying, that are lying about being involved with just one person. I don't know. What is that all about? I mean, and so you trusting this person, you're gonna go on their word. Yeah, okay, this person said I'm the only one. I'm the only one he got eyes for, whatever. So you're gonna take their word for it until it's STD come up. And you haven't been laying around with nobody else. You haven't been sleeping with anybody else. So it must have come from said person who said they were not seeing anyone. But hey, we can mix and we can talk a little bit about that more. But I'm just trying to show you where I'm going with the topic, showing you where I'm going with the conversation. But so back to it, culturally, how does it impact someone's decision to practice monogamy versus polygamy? So as I stated, in the Western culture, many Western societies, we primarily believe the norm is, and often legally, now when you say legally, we're talking about from the marriage standpoint. In order for you to get on your spouses, and hey, for those who out there who know more than I do about this stuff, but I understand in order for you to get on your spouse's health insurance, to be noted as a dependent, what else? I know health insurance, to be noted as a dependent. When it comes to handling different legal matters on a particular person, you have to show that you're married. I know that's definitely the case when it comes to you get a job. If you ever, consider, just remember when you've gotten hired on to a new company or whatever, and you're signing up for their health insurance, what do you have to do in order to put your spouse on there? You have to prove that you're married. Now, so that's one reason from a legal standpoint. And monogamy is typically associated with, hey, we talked about romantic love, whether you're dating somebody or you're committed to be married to this person. Long-term commitment. If you're involved with someone over a long period of time, you don't want to be sharing with anyone, do you? Do you? And it's just in our structure in the Western society, it's just ideal to practice monogamy, but everyone does not, even when it comes to the Western culture. All right. With that being said, we're going to go on to question number 2. All right, question number 2. What are some common challenges faced in monogamous relationships? And what strategies can be employed to address these issues? All right, that's the question. I kind of talked about it already, right? When it comes to monogamy, you're trusting your partner, male or female, that you're the only one that, you have this conversation. Please have this conversation. Just don't go, if you're a monogamous person, you prefer to practice monogamy, ask the question of your partner, whoever you're in a relationship with. Make it be known at that beginning of the relationship. Let it be known, hey, this is what I expect in a relationship. And if they tell you, hey, I agree, I believe in monogamy as well, I'm not seeing anyone, yada yada yada, you can't help but take them as their word at their word, right? Because relationships are built off trust. So you go into it, you're trusting and you believing that what they are telling you is true. Okay. So with that being said, what are some of the issues or challenges that may come up? Well, I'm here to tell you. Infidelity, cheating. Why is cheating just becoming such a racket, such a noise? And it ain't just started, guys. It has not just started. And I believe that even though someone may say they practice monogamy, I think, just the idea of it, fundamentally is the right, they say it's the right thing to do because, like I said, your religion can influence it, right? Or you may grow up in a 2-parent home and you see mom and dad and you say, okay, I want to be like them. So yeah, monogamy is the way to go. But you get out there and you start dating and and you just, all right, see, you meet different people or whatever, and you realize that you're attracted to, different people, and you curiosity kicks in. You may want to scratch that itch. Okay, I get it. We're all human. It happens. But what I am saying, when cheating becomes a problem, and the only reason cheating is even a thing or a word is because there are people that believe in monogamy. And if you're in a relationship and you say you do too, and that's what you practice with, then you come find out now you cheating with Sue Ellis, Janet, Pauline, Tracy, Tina. So that's where cheating comes in. That's where the practice of cheating comes in. Because you've lied. You've lied to your partner. You've lied to your wife. because maybe you didn't realize how difficult it was to be monogamous. Now, and I want to say this, I'm going to roll back and say this. People have made polygamy to be like a dirty word. Oh, that's just the way for you to accept cheating. That's just the way for a man, and I'm going to say a man, to make it okay to have more than one partner, more than one wife. But hey, and that may be the case, but yet and still, in order for polygamy to exist, there has to be a willing partner, a willing, and look, hold on, let me take a pause. When I say willing partner, I have never, and if you have, let me know, I have never seen a polygamous situation where there was one female who was married to several different males. So it may be a point. It may be a point there to be made to where polygamy came about to where men made it okay. It's a way for men to make it okay to have more than one partner, more than one wife. But yet it's still, there has to be a willing partner, a willing wife. But like I said, but primarily I've only seen where there's one man married to several women. One man married to several women. Now, does that beg to say that women are more willing to share their partner than men are to share the woman? Is that the case? That may be, because you may have I've heard the saying, it's easy for a man to dish it out, but it's hard for them to swallow when they get cheated on. Oh my goodness. When a man gets cheated on, they act like the world has ended. The world has stopped. They act like you have completely, utterly taken their manhood. It is very rare. It is very rare after a man has been cheated on, whether it's in a regular relationship or it's in a marriage situationship. It is very rare after they have caught their partner cheating for them to forgive and to rebuild their relationship. It's known to have happened. It has happened, but it's very rare. And maybe that's the reason you don't see situations where in a polygamous relationship, where you find there's a woman married to several men. I don't even see that working. I do not see that working, honestly. And maybe that's why it's more popular the other way, where you got the man married to several women. But like I said, it can get expensive. It can get expensive. So, as I was stating, it varies. It varies across cultures. And just to give a little insight, I talked about how it's seen in the Western world, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of cheating over here. There's a lot of cheating and infidelity going on over here in these United States. So I'm gonna play both. I'm play devil's advocate. Should it be more accepting to be polygamous? Should it be? Or are we just, delusional? Are we just delusional? Thinking that's the norm, being in monogamous relationships? Are we delusional? Are we behind the times? Have times changed? And we're just refusing to accept it? But like I said at the start of the show, it's layers to this thing. Either your religion is influencing your decision, polygamy versus monogamy, is your culture, could be your experience, and could be your own personal view. But that's what we're trying to figure out. Because like I said, and I'm not just, I'm speaking primarily so from the Western civilization, because this is where I'm from the United States. But let's see what they talk about or what they think about polygamy, monogamy in other cultures. Starting with the Eastern culture. In countries like China and Japan, monogamy is also the standard. Though historically polygamy was practical among the elite. Maybe because they could afford it. Because remember I said it could get very pricey. especially when you're talking about depending on how many wives or whatever you want to support, and then you have children and you got to provide for everyone, school, clothes, food, cars, whatever the case may be. So in the Eastern cultures, it was not unheard of to be in polygamous relationships, but it was more so with the elite. Now, modern laws and social norms now support monogamous relationship. But like I said, are we delusional? Are we delusional? Because why is cheating scandals and infidelity on the rise and divorce rates are up so, divorce is up so high. And one of our shows, we talked about that. Divorce is up, women are more than likely to request, file for the divorce than men. Now, we didn't dive into, what was the cause of that. It's because, the wife, then raised the children, they done put in all this work, and they just feel like, okay, this next leg of my life is going to be all about me. I don't want to take care of anyone else. I just want to focus on me. I don't want to be holding to anyone. I mean, that is the case in some of those situations, but the other is infidelity. And I think infidelity outweighs that more than anything, because who would want to throw away 25, 30, 40 years of marriage? That has happened, y'all. You have women who have walked away from 30, 40 years of marriage. And, that's not because, okay, their husband cheated once and they were out. It could have been a case to where over and over again, she forgave him. Over and over again, just got burned out. Just like I said, are we delusional? That's why we're talking about this topic tonight. Monogamy versus polygamy. Are we delusional? Is it just a nice thing to say, a standard, modern society, legally, monogamy is the way to go. That's what we're doing here. But I think it's just a facade in my opinion, because why are there so many cheating scandals and infidelity? Why is the divorce rate up so much? Are we not being honest with ourselves? Are we not? Now, I'm not saying that, what is that song? There's a song called "I Only Got Eyes." Some of the lyrics in it. Part of the lyrics is "I only got eyes for you." That's a lie. I'm gonna be honest. That's a lie. We're human people. We are visual people. Whether it's people we are pursuing in relationships, food that we're eating, clothes that we're buying, we're visual people. We are intrigued by what we see first. Not here, but what we see first. So when you get if you believe in monogamy, you're in a monogamous relationship, and you're fooling yourself that you only got eyes for that person that you're in a relationship with, you're lying. That means that you're not attracted to anyone else. It means that, from a woman's point of view, or you see an attractive person that you may pass by in the grocery store or in traffic or whatever the case may be, and you're closing your eyes, you're blind all of a sudden, you don't see the attractiveness. Only got eyes for my spouse, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. No, you're lying to yourself. That part, I believe we are delusional. You are attracted to other people. You're human. And it's okay to be that, to acknowledge that that's part of who you are. But what I'm saying is, when that has nothing to do with being committed to only one person. That's where the romance come in. That's where that love connection come in. That's where that, this person fulfills me in every way. I mean, I just don't see myself living this life without this person. I want to be committed to this person. And for me, going back to what I was saying, my personal view, my opinion on it, my standpoint is monogamy. Because for me, that it's something special. It's special to me. It's sacred, even, to where you and this person are just committed to each other. And when you get to that part of relationship where it's intimate, sexual, you shouldn't want to share that person with anybody else. That means you're no longer special, in my opinion. You're no longer special. There's nothing sacred about your union. There's nothing sacred about it when you can go sleep with this person, this person, this person, and still hold your wife or your partner to be someone special in your life. You're not committed, not in that way. Once you step outside and start cheating and infidelity takes its place, you're no longer committed. Because guess what else? Guess what else is the fallout of that? Children can be born into that world of chaos, and you already know what comes with that. When you have outside children, if the wife, it becomes difficult. If the wife find out about your infidelity, to find out about the outside child, can be difficult for her to stay committed to you. Does file for a divorce. Well within her right. But let's say she decides to stay there, because she said when she made her vows, she meant it to death do us part. So I'm going to push through this. I'm going to work through this. I'm going to be by your side regardless. I'm going to accept this child. I'm going to accept that you cheated on me. I'm going to accept the fact that you had another child. And I'm going to lay all that aside and try to push through it and work through it. And I'm going to help you raise this child. That takes a strong person, y'all. That's a rare person. That is something rare to have. And if you got that type of person in your life, you better hold on with everything you got. Hold on with everything you got. All right. So we talked about the Eastern culture, but I want to go ahead on and we'll go back to some of the other cultures as well. And what you'll find and what we're going to find at the end of it, you're going to see, oh, okay. That's interesting. All right. Question number 3. How does the concept of monogamy differs across various cultures and around the world? Okay, well, I might as well go back to it. Let's just dive back into it, pick back up where I left off. In Middle Eastern cultures, in many Islamic societies, while monogamy is common, we're talking about Islamic societies, while monogamy is common. Now, that's something, they didn't say monogamy is the norm. They say while monogamy is common, polygamy is permitted under specific religious guidelines. What? I should have dug into that a little bit more. What do you mean? It's permitted under specific religious guidelines. Does it say if you're a male is okay? Does it say if you are, I don't know. That's a good one. What could it possibly say from a religious standpoint that makes it okay? All right. However, it is less frequently practiced today due to economic and societal factors. All right, there's that common ground from Western cultures to Eastern cultures. It is frequently practiced today due to economic and social factors. There you go. Advanced civilization, modern civilizations, they're, shying away from polygamy, and, monogamy is becoming the norm across Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures. But like I said, cheating ain't just a Western thing. Infidelity is not just a Western thing. But like I said, just speaking on, from a culture standpoint, how it varies. All right, African cultures. Now, there's a lot to be said there. A lot of people tend to think that, okay, Africa, the African men, they believe in having more than one wife is a norm, is practice, is legal, is what they do over there in Africa. But this says views on monogamy vary widely. Africa is a huge continent. It's a huge continent. So, maybe they're looking across the countries, various countries in Africa. It says views on monogamy vary widely. In some communities, polygamous relationships are traditional and culturally accepted. All right. So whoever had that view about Africa and polygamy, then you guys are right. While in others, monogamy is more prevalent. So I don't know what countries in Africa may, where monogamy may be more prevalent. Maybe the more, modernized countries, so to speak. Maybe that is the case. But as you can see, as I'm going across these various cultures, both exist. monogamy and polygamy. But I'm gonna see Western culture doesn't say, well, it says monogamy from a legal standpoint, so I would have to say that polygamy is not legal over here. In Western culture, I don't know. I should have dug a little bit more to that. But however, indigenous cultures, many indigenous cultures have diverse practices and beliefs regarding marriage. Some may practice monogamy while others have different forms of relationships based on their cultural norms and values, different forms of relationships. All right, it can be monogamous, it could be polygamous, it could be, hey, we're gonna commit ourselves to each other, but not in marriage. We're just gonna, date each other long term. I don't know. Hey, maybe it's that you come into this relationship already with someone and you're okay with that, but that's still polygamy. I don't know, but that's interesting. That is interesting to see. All right, lastly, South Asian cultures and countries like India. All right, monogamy is the legal norm, similar with the Western, although historical practices included polygamy in certain communities. Social expectations often emphasize monogamous marriages. All right, so as you can see, as we scathed across all these various cultures outside of the Western civilization, monogamy and polygamy exist in some form or fashion. But the norm is starting to be more so monogamous relationships. And I'm going to say, advanced culture civilizations are starting to practice more so monogamous relationships. But regardless of what end of the earth or the world that you are on, I still ask the question, are we delusional that is the way to go? Is it that some people, they just can't commit no matter how hard they try? They can't commit to one person, be it dating or in a marriage. They just can't. And is that okay from a religious standpoint? Well, in Christianity, that is not okay. It's not. You're to be committed to one person only. One person only. Preaches against fornication, which indicates that you're having sex outside the marital status. Yes. So if you're a Christian, it speaks against it, monogamous. But if you've been on the ladies podcast show, Just Conversation with Debra, and if you're just joining the show tonight, I have transitioned to a different platform, Straight Up with Debra, new YouTube channel. The link is in the comments. Please go over and like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you'll know not only that I'm here on every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, when I decide to go live anytime, just anytime. So are we delusional? And if you understand that, my view on my journey is more so evolved from a religious standpoint to more spiritual. So I'm more open-minded about these sort of things. I am. And I talk about all the time how it's important to understand who you are as a being, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what your triggers are. I talk about all the time, there's good and bad that exists within all of us, but what is bad? What is good? Is the individual. So the same thing about polygamy. People look down on polygamy. I say my own personal preference, I prefer to be committed to one person only. And for various reasons. It's healthier that way. But some people, as I stated, those who say they're habitual cheaters, is that it is beyond them to commit to one person. Now, is that wrong? I think it's wrong when you get into a relationship with someone and you know that about yourself, and that person asks you, or you believe in monogamous relationships, and you say, sure, of course I do. Now, it's wrong from that standpoint because you're lying. You're being deceitful. So it just varies. It really depends on, at the end of the day, it depends on the individual. It should always depend on the individual. All right. We're going to go on to question number 4. Question number 4. In what ways might economic factors impact the choice between monogamous and non-monogamous relationships? Okay, as I stated, it can be very expensive. It can be very expensive because if I recall this reality show, I do not remember the name, but however, I know that guy had about 4 wives, 4 families. He had 4 families that he had to provide for. I don't recall those wives, sister wives. That's what it's called, sister wives. I do not recall either of them, those women working, help or contributing from a financial standpoint. They were homemakers. So you have to, from a guy standpoint, and like I said, it's rare. I've never seen a polygamous situation where it was the woman with several different men. But so we're just gonna say a man with several different wives. It can get very expensive. It really can. And so who can and I forget I'm gonna go back and see what culture that was. I think it was the Eastern culture, China and Japan. Polygamy was, at time practiced amongst the elite. And I have to believe that's because they had the money to take care of those, so many different families. So what I am saying to you is, and this may kind of lead a little bit toward, into, all right, why it's probably better to practice, being monogamous, being committed to one person. Because the reason I say that, you got so many cases where, you have men who have fathered so many different children, so many different women, and they're not stepping up to the plate to take care of their responsibility. They're not taking care of the children. They're not giving her anything for their, for their education, health, extracurricular activities, whatever the case may be, that it's, whatever it takes financially to raise a child, to raise a family. And so I'm saying is, like I said, it's easier to me to just practice monogamy, be committed to one person, because you out there and you're having your intimate, with all these different women, and not being responsible, having children all across the globe, and you're not taking care of them. And then in many cases, the government, the women have to rely on the government to help take care of these kids. Then you're being reckless, sir. You're being reckless. In that case, yes, it is wrong. And so maybe your status should be, maybe you should be saying, when you get into these relationships, I believe in polygamy. And then you at least be giving that partner, that person, the opportunity to say yay or nay if they want to continue in a relationship with you. And maybe that'll help with some of these cases where you have kids, being born without a father in the home, or a father there to take care of them. I believe that all things are connected, cause and effect. There's cause and effect for everything, whether you practice monogamy or polygamy, there's cause and effect for everything. So from a financial standpoint, yes, it can be very expensive. But if you choose to be in a relationship where polygamy is practiced, you believe in polygamy, make sure your partner believes the same thing. It's all about honesty in 2025 for me. What the new straight up with Debra. I want you to be straight up with yourself and straight up with whoever you come across with in your life. Just be your true and authentic self. That's what you're going to hear me talk about all the time on Straight Up with Debra. Just be your true, authentic self. Just be honest. It's easier that way. Because I know you heard the saying, a lie will catch up with you. A lie will catch up with you, and it's hard to continue to carry a lie. It is. It is. So just be honest with yourself. Be honest. And if you're not going to do that, at least be responsible out there, because there's worse things that you can get than a child that you didn't plan for. You can get something you can't wash off, something that a pill ain't going to take care of. So you got to be responsible, if not for yourself, the other people that you come in contact with. Yes, you got to be responsible. I'm not saying monogamy or polygamy, one is bad versus the other. I'm not saying that. All I want to do is bring some awareness and some discussion around both, because they both exist, as I have shared, across cultures. One is practiced more than the other, monogamy, but I think that it's more from a, more civilized, advanced civilization standpoint, and those civilizations who are more so have, practice, religion, Christianity. So, they adopt it, that they accept it. But at the same time, with religion being, something that is not unheard of, Christianity and Buddhism and all these different religions, and some of those, do accept, do believe in polygamy. But I'm saying, are we delusional? I'm still asking that question. Are we delusional in believing that, that's the way to go? Because if so, you wouldn't have so much cheating going on. You wouldn't have so many fatherless children. You wouldn't. So maybe that's something that needs to be further examined on an individual level. I believe in self-realization. Maybe it's something that needs to be examined on an individual level. Examine in your life. Like I said, just because you may be attracted, you see someone else as being attractive, that does not mean you're not committed with who you are. We are human. We're visual people. We connect first with what we see. So it doesn't mean that you're blind because you're practicing monogamy and you're committed to one person. It just means that you're not going to overstep and start engaging with this person that is not accepting or aligns with being monogamous. That's all I'm saying. And I know, guys, this is not a topic that is always talked about. It is not a popular conversation, but I just think it was a conversation, a topic that needs to be had because, like I said, cheating and infidelity is on the rise. And people just say, they say monogamy, I'm monogamous, but honestly, you're not. On the other hand, you truly are not. So examine that. I think it's something that's worth to be examined. It's all about being true. Being your true, authentic self, living in your truth. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not. I say there's never anything wrong with living in your truth and being your real, authentic self, as long as you're not causing any hurt, harm, or danger to anyone else. So it would be hurtful if you are a monogamous person and you go in a relationship with someone who said they are the same, and just to find out that they're not. Your relationship started on deceit. It was built off of deceit. So in that case, you are hurting someone. Just be honest. And you may be surprised. You may come across with someone and say, well, yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I like to deal with more than one person at a time, feel my way. I'm not just ready to be committed right now. You may find someone on the same page that you are. All right. We're going to get down to our last question for this evening. And it is, how do personal experiences and upbringing shape one's perspective on the importance of monogamy in relationships? Like I said, if you were brought up with a religious background, be it Christianity, Buddhism, Islamic, whatever the case may be, it just, that can shape your viewpoint, your worldview. I'm going to say that can shape your worldview. And it would, it was ingrained in me for sure. I mean, strict cogent from my standpoint. And you supposed definitely not supposed to have sex before marriage. And you are be married to one person only, to death do you part. You are to be committed to that one person, and to death do you part. So religion definitely helped shape that for me. But even as an adult and going through the different, being in a dating world, being married, for a long period of time, still, in a marriage for a long period of time, I even outside of religion, if I was never indoctrinated that way when it came to religion, I still prefer monogamy. It's healthier mentally. I can only imagine, being cheated on, what that makes you. You feel betrayed. Like I said, a monogamous relationship, it's a beautiful thing because it makes you feel special. It's something sacred. This person is committed to me and only me. They're not giving themselves, their bodies, to someone else. It's only for me. And that's why I prefer monogamy, because it's definitely cheaper. We talked about Valentine's Day coming up. You got birthdays, Christmas, and let's say you got 3, 4 people you got to buy stuff for during these holidays. That's too expensive. Sit down somewhere. Sit down. Find you one person that meets your every need, and you and grow old with them. What is happening in, like we talked about divorce? What is going on in the world? Is it passe to is it unpopular these days to find someone and grow old with them? Is social media teaching us a different way of life? And if they is that healthy? Is social media encouraging, having multiple partners and not committing to someone and not growing? Oh, I'm here to tell you, I don't social. I haven't seen a whole lot where people are promoting marriages. I haven't seen a whole lot on social media where people are promoting committing themselves to one person and growing old. I have not seen that. I have seen people talking about canceling folks. I can, I'm doing me. I'm doing me, and I'm focusing on me, 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 me. Yeah, so I'm thinking social media has a lot to do with it, where they're, where it's making marriage to be a thing of the past, not a popular thing to do. But like I said, it's consequences with everything. Regardless of whatever decisions you make in life, there are consequences for everything. I'm gonna take a pause. I think I may have missed. Hey, Magic Smith, how are you doing? How are you? How are you? How are you? Um, if you just got here, Magic, I'm thanking you for being here. I did mention that I am on a different YouTube channel, and it's called Straight Up with Debra Walter. I'm still here on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Definitely thinking about branching out and appearing on the channel more, definitely to grow the community. So if you don't mind, Magic, if you could, I'm going to drop it in the chat one more time because you just joined. Here is the URL for Straight Up with Debra. Tonight will be the last night that I actually go live on the Ladies Podcast Show. And so I just want to mention that and thank you. I would love to see you over there. I would definitely love to see you over there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're talking about monogamy, polygamy. What's your preference? Which one is more beneficial versus the other? What are the benefits? What are the pros? What are the cons? And so I've talked about that over and over. I've shared my personal view on it. I'm not judging anyone who chooses to be in relationship situationships with more than one person. I only suggest and recommend that you be honest from the jump, that you be honest from the door. If you're asked, be honest. Give that person the opportunity to say yeah or nay. Give that person the opportunity to decide whether they want to continue in a relationship situationship with you. Don't build any relationship off of lies and deceit. It just does not work. It is not healthy. It's not going to end well. It's not, because there are things that can happen in polygamous situationships where it can impact your health. It can, your mental status, physically, emotionally, all those things. But, and on the other token, if you're someone who you feel like you're built for that, you're built to be in a relationship with more than one person, then so be it. That's you. Just make sure you're not deceiving anybody else in doing so. All right. With that being said, I got one more question that we're going to talk about. How do personal experiences upbringing shape one's perspective and the importance of monogamy relationships? One's upbringing. It depends. If you had a strict religious upbringing, it's definitely going to be resounding that monogamy is the way, and they're going to, shun you talking, polygamous situationships. Your experiences, let's say you've experienced being in a situationship where you were open to your partner having more than one partner. You were open to having more than one partner, and you got burned in that way. Maybe you ended up with a STD. Maybe you found that it was too expensive for you to juggle more than one relationship. Maybe you found out that it made you mentally unstable, or you found out that, hey, I don't like for my partner to share me, to be shared with someone else. I want to be the only one. I want to feel special. I want what we have to be sacred. So in your experiences, you said, okay, I tried being polygamous. That is not for me. That is not the way I want to go. So now I'm going to go back over here to the mono side. I'm going to be monogamous, and I'm going to seek that here on out because it's just more stable for you. I think it's more stable. But like I said, I'm not putting a tag on one is bad and one is good. I'm not. We listen, but we don't judge. This is just bringing awareness. That's all we do on the straight up with Debra. That's all we do is bring awareness. Maybe, make a light bulb come on and think about something that you never thought about before and see a different perspective. That is what life is all about. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. You hear from others. You see their perspective, being more open-minded. Now, I will say this, being more open-minded does not mean you are accepting of everything. It does not mean that. It means that, okay, you understand that person's point of view. You understand that person's perspective. You're not going to judge what they choose to do in their lives, but you're just going to be more open-minded about it. Point blank, point blank. As I mentioned in my book, Why Does God Answer a Sinner's Prayer? I was raised to believe that there is no place for sinners in God's heaven. I was believe that God turns a deaf ear to the sinner. And so my book, Why God Answers a Sinner's Prayer, based on my experiences, I give my own viewpoint and answer that question. And you'll be surprised what the answer is. So I encourage you to go out there and purchase it. All right. So you tell me. So I hope this topic, the discussion, has helped someone and seeing that, across different cultures, monogamy and polygamy has existed in one shape, form, or the other. And from a trending standpoint, it seems like polygamy is on its way out the door. And it's my own personal preference to practice monogamy. I mean, okay. But I think it's important for people to understand the responsibility that comes behind being monogamous. I'm not just talking about it from being married, being in a marriage situation. I'm not just talking about it from that standpoint, being in a monogamous marriage. I'm talking about even in the dating world. There's responsibility that comes with that. It is not a flex to say I got this many partners. It is not. It is not. Out of all the chaos that going on in the world today, your relationship situation should not be one of them. At least that is something you got control over. You can choose to tell that person, no, I can't take your number. You're nice looking and all that, but I'm already dating someone. No, ma'am, I'm already married. No, thank you. Regardless of what they wave in your face, what cars they drive, how much money they got, whether they got a Rolex on their arms. It's a price to be paid with that. I'm here to tell you it's a price to be paid. And all in all, I believe if you're honest with yourself, that monogamy is not for you. Perhaps we'll see a decline in divorces. Perhaps we'll see a decline in fatherless homes. So many single mothers out there. Perhaps we'll see a decline because I believe everything is connected. There's consequences for all decisions that you make. And no person is perfect. I'm not saying that at all. And any commentary that I give you is only my own personal views and opinions, and I'm not standing on nobody's podium. I just try to bring awareness and discuss topics that I think are important that'll help our community. That's all that is about. That's all this is about. And so once again, if you have not subscribed, and you probably haven't, because Straight Up with Debra Walter is a new YouTube channel. I would love for you guys to support the channel, be part of the community. If you recently subscribed to the latest podcast show and you were part of the Just Conversations with Debra community, I would love to have you over there at Straight Up with Debra Walter, still here on Sundays, as I said, but looking to engage with you guys a little bit more. I am. Facebook, you won't find me on Facebook. I made a decision that I'm not going to stream. I'm only going to stream to one platform, and that's YouTube. I think that'll help centralize the community and people, getting comfortable with coming to that one channel. TikTok, still looking to put shorts on TikTok, still looking to do that. So with Facebook, Instagram, Not so much, not so much. And this was the last night that I was going to be streaming on the Ladies Podcast Show. You guys have been awesome as always. We do like to have guests on the show. We do like to welcome topics from our community. So if there's anything that you would like to discuss or shed light on, please don't be shy. Drop a comment there. You can come on as a guest. You don't have to show your face. You can just be on audio. We can hear your beautiful voice. But in 2025, we should all look to be our true, authentic self. To me, that is the only way that meaningful relationships, situationships are going to last. That's the only way they're going to have true meaning. Being your true and authentic self. That's what I believe. That's what I stand on. If someone call you out on something that you failed to do, don't just look. Okay, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. I apologize. And that's all about being your true authentic self. Don't be afraid to be who you are. God created us, as I like to say, the infinite source created us individually, uniquely, divinely. So you are who the creator meant for you to be. And in being you, go full throttle with it, full force. As long as you're not causing any hurt, harm, or danger to anyone else, be you. Be true. Be true. And that is the only way, as I said, you can build true, meaningful relationships. All right, guys, that's all I have to talk about tonight on this subject is monogamy natural. You decide for yourself. You decide if it's for you. And if it's not for you, all I ask is that you be responsible out there in the world. Be a responsible human being. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll look forward to you joining us next Sunday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Straight Up with Debra Walter. Have a good night.